Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond Second Cognition. I'm Beall. The topic of this discussion is you can't handle the truth. This particular podcast is probably going to irritate a lot of people because they're going to disagree vehemently with what I'm about to reveal. But the fact of the matter is, the vast majority of humanity can't handle the truth. As a prime example, I'm going to speak to the people that have delved into the conspiracy arena and point out how hard it was for you to come to terms with facing the conspiracy, and also point out how hard it is for you to try to relate that to other people and how they can't handle that truth because they refuse to. This is the biggest problem with facing the truth. You all live in a world of a perceptual illusion or a collective set of illusions. And you will defend these illusions, you will go to war, and you will die for these illusions. And they're all predicated on perceptual deception. Your whole life is predicated on these illusions called beliefs. And they're not all religious beliefs. They're beliefs of all kinds. Some you will defend more stringently than others, but they're still illusions, and they're still merely beliefs. In order to face the truth, you have to confront the beliefs and move past the beliefs into the actuality. And for those folks that have been down the conspiracy road, you know what I'm talking about to a certain degree. You've had your world shaken in many cases. You've had to go through the psychological discomfort of getting rid of former illusions like your perception of sanitized history and what you were taught in school and all these other kinds of things. And every time you had to face the truth, it created a certain level of uncomfortability. But even facing the truth that you're in possession of is still only part of the truth, because you're still hanging on to some form of illusion in one form or another. And these illusions form part of your personality. It's what they call personal identity, cultural identity, religious identity, political identity, national identity. And so people can't handle the truth because in order to handle the truth, you have to strip away all these illusions that define the identity of that false persona called the ego. Your ego has to have these labels. It has to have these identifiers because that's how it supports its perceptual illusionary world. In order to get past the false ego, you have to get past all of the illusionary beliefs that support this illusionary world that the ego embraces and thinks is reality. We have layers and layers and layers of perceptual beliefs. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a belief that you're going to encounter that you're going to dig your heels in and you're going to refuse to let go of. And when you hit that point where you refuse to let go of that illusionary belief, that's where your quest for the truth stops. You will not accept truth beyond that rigid belief that may undercut the foundation of your self-identity. And this is the problem that faces the world. Nobody is really interested in the truth. A lot of people say, oh, I'm only interested in the truth, but no, you're not interested in the truth. You're interested in the information that will validate your illusionary perception of reality. Anything that substantiates and bolsters that illusion, that's what you want. That's what you call truth. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with truth. It has to do with confirmation bias. It has to do with reinforcing the illusion that you live, that you think is reality because the history books told you so, or your national identity tells you so, or the group that you run with tells you so. All of these things are illusions. And beyond those illusions lie truth, ladies and gentlemen. And although you say, all I want to know is the truth, no, you don't. You can't handle the truth. Just like Jack Nicholson said in that movie, you can't handle the truth. Because in order to face the absolute stark base truth, you have to get past all of these perceptual illusions. And the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, people are just wholly and totally unwilling to let go of the illusions. They will embrace any stupid illusion that comes along that makes them feel emotionally secure rather than face the truth. Some of this QAnon stuff, they had these people, somebody created this malarkey idea that JFK Jr. is still alive and he's coming back with a heart-on to get those people that assassinated his daddy. It has no basis in fact, but people believe it. They sure want to believe it, so they'll embrace that fantasy, or they'll embrace the fantasy that the earth is flat. Come up with any fantasy you want. People would more readily embrace a fantasy that bolsters their emotional, ego, illusionary, feel-good belief system than go through the cognitive dissonance and face reality beyond the illusion. And this is why humanity can't progress, because they are more interested in the illusion, in the Disney World illusion of what they think reality is, than facing the actual truth of reality. And everyone's self-identity, whatever they identify with. I'm a Christian, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm an American, I'm a Frenchman, whatever. Those are all part of this false identity, and they're all part of the false illusion. You have to have these things to bolster the illusion. But when you remove all the illusions, all you have is yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is called self-responsibility and self-reliance. When you don't any longer have labels that you have to identify yourself with. You don't need labels. You don't need identifiers. You should be plenty secure within your own skin and believe in your own merit. But most people can't do that. They have to have the labels. They have to have the identifiers. They have to have the tags that says, I am this or I am that. At the end of the day, people are just walking beliefs. I am a belief. Why don't we just say that? My reality is just what I see, and I don't care about any reality beyond my perception and my illusion, because my illusion makes me feel good. And that's where humanity is, ladies and gentlemen, living in feel-good illusions because it bolsters their illusionary belief in the world. They don't want to know truth. They can't handle the truth. They want the illusion. Any illusion they can find that makes them feel good, that they can puff themselves up with in their ego and how right they are, regardless of how foolish the illusion may be. That's all people care about. They don't care about reality. They don't care about truth, even if they say, well, I'm only seeking the truth. No, you're not. You're only seeking the truth that validates your perception of reality. You don't care about anything beyond that perception. Because the truth has a tendency to erase beliefs, ladies and gentlemen. The truth wipes away the dependency on the labels. But if you want to be a labeled entity, if your whole life is nothing but a label or a set of labels, then you're just a walking set of beliefs. That's all. You don't care about truth. You care about what bolsters your personal illusions. And until humanity really genuinely wants to find truth, they're going to be walking belief boxes. That's all you are. A walking meat bag of beliefs. And I don't really care how much this upsets people, but it happens to be true. But defend the false identity of this fake ego and get your feathers ruffled because I put out a video like this. I'm sure I'll get lots of thumbs down, and that's just fine by me because I happen to know quite a bit of what the truth is compared to the illusion that most of you live in. There is truth beyond the illusion, but you'll never find it so long as you embrace the illusion, whatever the illusion may be. And the illusions are wrapped up in identity tags and labels and marching in lockstep with one herd ideology or another. For those of you doing the work, stay the course. Don't give up on yourselves.